Hi guys. Okay, it's slow. So I wish for you right now to try and reflect back. Okay, we're going to be talking about Excel basically. I wish for you to try and reflect back to what you know, the little you know about Excel, or what you already know about Excel. And I wish for you to also reflect on which functions that you already know about Excel. So while taking the time trying to figure out what you already know about Excel, because I want you to try add on to what you already know instead of trying to erase what you already know. Ne? So I'm gonna try and access a video here.
In this video, we will talk about what is Microsoft Excel. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet software developed by Microsoft Corporation. It is available for Microsoft Windows, Mac OS X, and iOS operating systems. It features calculation, graphing tools, pivot tables, and a macro programming language called Visual Basic for applications. It has been a very widely applied spreadsheet for these platforms, especially since version 5 in 1993. And it has replaced Lotus 123 as the industry standard for spreadsheets. Excel forms part of Microsoft Office Suite. Microsoft Excel has the basic features of all spreadsheets. It uses a grid of cells, arranged in numbered rows and letter-named columns, to organize data manipulations, like arithmetic operations. It has a battery of supplied functions to answer statistical, engineering, and financial needs. In addition, it can display data as line graphs, histograms, and charts, and with a very limited three-dimensional graphical display. It allows sectioning of data to view its dependencies on various factors for different perspectives using pivot tables and the scenario manager. It has a programming aspect, Visual Basic for applications, allowing the user to employ a wide variety of numerical methods. For example, for solving differential equations of mathematical physics and then reporting the results back to the spreadsheet. It also has a variety of interactive features, allowing user interfaces that can completely hide the spreadsheet from the user, so the spreadsheet presents itself as a so-called application or decision support system via a custom-designed user interface, for example, a stock analyzer, or in general, as a design tool that asks the user questions and provides answers and reports. In a more elaborate realization, an Excel application can automatically poll external databases, analyze the results, make a Word report or PowerPoint slideshow, and email these presentations on a regular basis to a list of participants. Thank you for watching.
Okay. Now I wish for us to access. Okay. Now I wish for us to access a certain Excel sheet, and then we can start talking about whichever information I wish to share with you regarding Excel. Okay, so this is our sheet, our spreadsheet. So in terms of operational relations, we're talking about the following symbols. We're talking about less than, greater than, equals, these quotation marks that you will need when using certain functions. Then you put your argument inside those quotation marks. For instance, if you want to calculate, if you want to set a symbol for a certain test, and you want if you want learners that received above 75 to receive an A, then you want to create a certain argument using a function, then those A or B, C symbols will have to be put in these quotation marks. You'll see that when using many functions, we use brackets. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. Okay, before I show you how to use certain functions, let me give you a certain tip that I used when I was in high school when it comes to remembering less than and greater than. I know this is very quirky, but then let me just show you anyway. So I always said picture the symbol as an alligator's mouth or a crocodile's mouth. And the crocodile obviously will eat what is bigger. So if this symbol is facing this number, it means this number is bigger. This symbol, if this symbol is going to be this number, then means that number is bigger. This crocodile will always eat the bigger number. Okay, so moving on. When it comes to brackets, you will see that when you're using certain functions, such as when you're calculating the total, we use the function sum. And okay, if you want, you can just carry on and open a bracket, and it will show you the requirements that are needed for you to do that certain calculation. But you can also double click this, and then it will also show you what you need to do a certain calculation. So you see that when we use the calculation, let's say my number one is this one, test number one, and then it shows me here that I need to add this punctuation mark, and then I can select my second number. And then to show that I'm done calculating, or I've inserted all the numbers that I wish to calculate, I will close the bracket and press enter. So it shows me now that if you add 86 plus 74, you will get 160. It's as simple as that. When you're calculating a function, you will need brackets to show that, okay, now I'm selecting the content I wish for you to calculate. And then when you close the bracket, it shows that now I'm done, with my calculations of whatever content that I wish for you to calculate. Okay. Now that I'm done showing you relational operations. Oh, also, let me talk about the equal. Have you seen here that for me to start accessing my functions, I need to put the equal sign. There isn't any function or let me just say calculation you can do in Excel without putting that equal sign, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't come across one. So when I put my equal sign, and I start counting, and then I start typing in which function I wish to use, I double click if I want to use count, double click count, and then I select my values. It says here, select value number one. I select value number one, and then I use the punctuation mark that has been asked for me to use, so that I can use to move to value number two. Then I select value number two, and then I close my argument, or I close my brackets so that to show that I'm done with whatever I wanted to calculate. That's all I want to calculate now. Then I press enter. Then it has counted how many cells I have selected, which are 2 cells, right? So here, this is just, this is just, okay, let's just move on now to functions. Sorry, I'm trying to share with you the basics in a way that will help you remember what I shared with you. So now I'm moving on to functions. The most basic functions in Excel. Here we're talking about sum. I showed you what sum does. If you want to calculate the total, let's say here, okay, now I have the marks for my learners, and I wish to now calculate my total, the total they received from each test, right? Before I can, divide it and all that, and then calculate your main semester mark or semester percentage. Not semester, sorry, main term mark or term percentage. So I'll just double click here because I've inserted a certain function. And then remember, before we insert a function or before we use a function, we must use this relational operation sign, which is equals. And then when we want to calculate the total, we use this function, sum. And then we want to calculate the total from these two tests. In total, how many marks did the learner have when you add up these two test marks. And then you press enter, and it gives us the answer. So instead of, doing the same function for all these marks, we just go here. And then when my cursor changes to this symbol or this sign, then now I click and drag. Click and drag, remember? Click and drag. There, it has calculated. Okay, you see here, I just dragged it too far, so there was nothing to calculate from these two. Then I click and drag, then it has calculated for all the other marks. I don't have to now go to each cell and to calculate the total. And then moving on to calculating the average, the class average, or the average that of those tests. I want to calculate the average, class average for test 2. This is test 2, right? And I want to calculate the average for test 2. Equals sign. Then I say average. Then you see it has suggested for me. Then I double click it. And then I just, it's up to you whether you want to start selecting from up there, or you can just select from down here. Okay. So the final mark, né? And then just you can also go here, close your brackets, press enter. There is your average. I will show you in a few how to round off this number instead of having all of these digits after the comma. How to just round it up to maybe 2 digits or 1 digit, né? So okay, the next function I want to talk about is count. Remember I showed you how to use count. So you can just practice there on your laptop or whatever you have near you that has a certain spreadsheet on how to use count. If I want to count how many learners are in my class, I can either go to the surnames or the initials, but then let me use the surnames. And then I will enter the name of my function, which is count. Then I will double click it. And then I will just highlight all the surnames. Okay, sorry about that. All the surnames. Then I will come here, close the bracket, and then press enter. Okay, let's just do this again. That's all the names. Okay. As you can see, it's actually very fun, but it needs your utmost concentration. Oh, if I wanted to count how many learners, I should have used count A instead of count. I am so sorry. If you want to count and it's not, numbers, you can just use count A. So now I want to just count how many learners wrote test 1. I'll use count. Then let me just double check this instead of n. Okay. My values. So 59 learners wrote this test. So we have seen the difference here. If you want to calculate, see here, if you want to calculate and it's just names instead of numbers, use count A. Then click enter. It's 59 learners, and then 59 learners also read the test. Okay, moving on to the next function. let's move to mean. So you want to calculate the mean. Yeah? What did I say? Insert your equal sign. Just type okay, if I want to calculate my median instead, because I don't know if it's my spelling or what. If I want to calculate my median, then I will maybe my median for the total that the learners receive. I'll just insert my function, equal sign, insert the name of my function, and then double click it or just add a bracket to start typing in arguments and close that bracket, or just press enter. It will automatically close, then press enter. So the median is 59. If I want to calculate the highest mark, let me just say I want to calculate the highest mark for test 2, which is my maximum, my max. I will click it, then I will highlight from which numbers I wish to calculate the highest mark. Okay, enter. The highest mark in this test was total 100. And then if I want to calculate the smallest mark, minimum, and then, excuse me, I will just open my brackets and highlight these marks and press enter. Sorry. So the lowest mark in this test was 63. Okay, which other formula can we look at? Let's look at today. Let's say you just want to, type in the dates that you did the calculations or something like that, or if you want to insert the date and the time, just for fun. So you type in, you insert the function today, open the bracket, you won't type anything, you just close the bracket, then press enter. So it has given me what? Today's date. And then, okay. If is a little bit more complicated, the function if. So today I just want to, work with the most simplest functions, the basic functions that you can use to get through Excel or use Excel. So I would like for you to also access a certain spreadsheet and then work through this different functions. Remember, we use sum, we use average, we use today, we use median, we use min, we use max. So you just work around those functions. If you don't know how to do it, you can just leave a comment down in the comment section, or you can just type on Google to get the certain instructions on, okay, how can I calculate the average of a certain numbers? If you want to, or we've also used count A and count. So yeah, those are the basics of Excel. What I can also share with you is that you see these I can just say alphabet and numbers on the side. It's just to give you the location of your contents. Let's say the question, if you're doing a test or it's included in your examination, and it says go to cell number A10. So this is A, and then we're gonna go to number 10. In cell number A10, we found Dlamini. So it's just the names of your cell. So if I click here, it gives me the name of my cell. If I want to go to A10, okay, sorry about that. It gives me the name of my cell. If I want to go to A10, I'll just type in A10. It takes me straight to A10. And then here, you can just insert your formulas. If if you want to just type Dlamini A10, going to the actual A10, you can just type Dlamini. If you want to insert a formula in A10, let's say you want to do sum, you just say equals sum, it gives me sum, double click, and then I highlight whatever, maybe I want to highlight the sum for these three. I'll just highlight them instead of clicking, then using this punctuation mark. I'll just highlight it to make things easier. And then instead I can press enter, or I can close the bracket before I press enter. But either way, it's going to give you the same result. So to make things easier, just press enter, and then it has given you the sum, the total. That's added things for you. So functions, when you're talking about functions, we're talking about your sum, count A, count if, max, min. When you're talking about functions, it's just your simple formulas. It's your simple mathematical formulas when you're adding, when you're subtracting, when you're multiplying. So if I want to add, instead of calculating sum, which is way easier, using sum, which is way easier, or makes things way easier, I can just say, okay, I want to say 81. This is your plus sign, plus 87. It gives me the same number I got using a function instead of typing and looking for the symbol. If I want to now say, instead of plus, I will go to minus. It will give me the answer. And if I want to say times now, I will use this star. It's as simple as that. If I want to divide, I will use this symbol. It's as easy as that. I hope whatever I shared with you prior this video was useful. I'm sorry about the camera quality. My laptop's camera quality is a bit off, but I did need my laptop so that I could show you exactly what I was talking about when I wanted to introduce the basics of Excel. Thank you. Okay, let me just stop the share. And then thank you for your time. Thank you for taking time to look at this video. Even though the camera quality is off, then I'm sure whatever I was able to share with you helped you understand Excel better.